Now, speaking of being in the business of selling tickets, this is what we all think professional wrestling to be. And a lot of people have come out and they have criticized William Regal for making this suggestion, making this recommendation, sharing this advice, and reminding people just what this business is. Okay, I'm going to read you the tweet here. This was posted. When was this posted? December the 28th. So this was it was a couple weeks ago. And what he said was, "I stay off here, but was alerted to something today that has alarmed me. I don't read any comments, so don't waste your time trying to argue or justify your very wrong opinions on this. I broke my neck twice." And this was in, I guess he said 93, in ring and in a car wreck in 97. And stupidly never told anyone. And I was taught properly how to bridge and not land on the top of my head. It's a skill that maybe 99.9% of the people don't know or will never learn anymore. I kept going somehow, but knew all the tricks that, again, people don't learn now and watch film and just copy. After Misawa-san passed from his neck problems, I thought it would stop this nonsense, but it's got worse. And whenever I talk to people about them doing it, they just say, well, it doesn't hurt. Believe me, it will. I have people close to me now, Bryan Danielson being one, who is suffering daily like myself from his neck. It's a daily misery, and sleep and every other aspect of your life is more than hard. Although people use the term tough about me, you'll never hear me say that, as I'm not and don't think I am or have ever been. Money and whatever nonsense fame is supposed to be is not worth the pain or supposed to even glory you get from these ridiculous moves, dropping yourself on your head. The vast majority of fans don't know the difference between a vertical suplex and a brainbuster, and that's a far tamer move than many I see now. I'm 57 and become less relevant every day, but fame has never been my thing. So most of you doing this stupid stuff are not going to listen to me, but hopefully some of you do. Stop it now if you want a decent quality of life after wrestling, because that part of your life will be taken over before you know it. And wrestling done right is hard enough, but broken necks or death are not something you should think is tough or cool. It's idiotic thinking. Now, people said, a whole bunch of things. I'm not going to read all the comments. There's about 6.4 million views on this tweet alone. And, he said it himself. He's not going to read any of these comments because he knows what people are going to say, and he was right about them. You guys remember the spot. It was with Kyle Fletcher and Jon Moxley, and I watched that recently because I'm not a guy that watches AEW a lot, and it's a personal opinion. I don't like a lot of the indie-style stunts that they pull in these matches. I just don't. Okay, they do all these like Texas Death Match. They do all these like hardcore rules. I'm not a big fan of it. And this is the reason why. The Kyle Fletcher spot, when you watch that in slow motion, if he didn't feel anything at that, like if he was like, yeah, it doesn't hurt, it's all good. That adds up. And it could lead to brain damage down the road. So to sit here and say that, well, because they're young, they can pull off these moves, and if they do get hurt, it's okay, they'll come back. The more you do that, the more you end up like Kurt Angle right now. And if you guys know Kurt Angle, he doesn't have feeling in his fingers and his arms. It hurts, and he's losing muscle mass, as you can tell. And that's because he's broken his neck 4 or 5 times. He kept going. I mean, these are testimonials out there of people who have been in the business and have, I mean, they didn't even know any better, but they're living this life today that the demands are way more to do simple things than the average person. To go to sleep is a pain. To eat food is a pain. To rotate your neck around is a pain. I mean, think about that. Like, doing simple things is a pain. So if you're sitting here and you believe that what William Regal is saying, he's out of touch, like he's beyond his years, it's time for him to give it up because nobody wants to take his advice. You're going to end up in a situation where you may very well end your life in the ring. And who wants to see that? Who goes to a show, paying to go to a show, saying that I hope I see someone die in the ring? No fan wants to see that. No performer wants to be in that position. So, as much as people have issues with, I guess, young guys who are coming up, making a name for themselves, using moves like this, I mean, unless you're that kind of person, this is the truth, and it's not wrapped in a bow. It's not sugar coated with icing and a cherry on top. It's said the way it needs to be said because people need to hear it this way. There's no time that we have that we can wait and say that, okay, this will eventually change because people's lives are on the line. This needs to stop now. No more waiting, no more sitting here, this might change down the road, things might change down the road, No, it's got to stop. And that's what I said. I do not enjoy watching AEW. I'm not one of those tribalistic types. I don't sit here and say, well, if you like WWE, you cannot like AEW. Or if you're an AEW fan, stay away from WWE television. I don't have the bandwidth to sit here and talk about everything that happens in every promotion. I just stick to the one that's at the top, that gets the most news, that people talk about. So, whether William Regal, is someone you're a fan of or not, strip that away and look at the quote, look at the tweet, and understand that. I mean, he has a picture of a neck here as well, and I believe this is his neck, his X-ray scan showing you what had to happen because of the time that he had broken it. You're putting screws in a neck to keep it adjustable. Otherwise, you'd be paralyzed, you'd be sitting in a wheelchair. And thank goodness he's not in a wheelchair. Or, Steve Austin is not in a wheelchair. Kurt Angle is not in a wheelchair. So that's all I'm going to say about that. If you're somebody who has issues with that, there's nothing good that I can say about you because you're going to be the reason why these performers continue to do this because the fans these kind of fans continue to advocate for this kind of wrestling, and they're going to keep doing it. So you got to understand, if you're a performer, as a performer, you think about it differently. But as a fan, we're fans. We need to understand they will do things when we talk about it on social media. They look at this stuff. WWE looks at this stuff. AEW looks at this stuff. The performers look at this stuff. They are their own man or woman. So when they see this, they bring this up and they say, you know what? Let's perform. Let's do this for the fans. Let's make this something meaningful for the fans. The reality of it is, a move like that is not going to be remembered. People aren't going to remember it because there's hundreds of other moves out there that people have done, and they've had to shorten their life because of the injuries they've sustained. So we're not going to remember moves like that. What we're going to remember is, did you get over in the ring? And if there's ways to get over, I mean, guys like William Regal, I mean, he's not talking out of his rear. Okay, there's been people on the roster in the past. They've gotten over, and they did not need to do these crazy moves that you see week in and week out. I'm going to go ahead and say it because I know a lot of people won't say it because they want to stick to the positive here. But guys like Javon Evans, Leon Slater, Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, Braun Breaker, I mean, this is the future. These are the guys that are going to take the company, the WWE, into the future. And I'll be transparent with you. A lot of these, the talent, they use a lot of these moves, very risky kind of moves, to get over with the crowd, and they need to stop. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. They need to stop. Just because you can reach a certain altitude as you jump off the top rope, okay, does not mean that that is the reason you'll get over, because eventually you're going to burn out. This is the wrestling business. You got to know what is going to help you get over and stay over while you're still able to perform in the ring. It's not what people want to hear, but it's the truth. And a lot of these young guys coming up, it's targeted at them because they're the ones that do this the most. So we'll leave it at that.